Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Beyond the Forecast. I'm StormTracker8 meteorologist Matt DiNardo, and today I'm being joined by, there he is, the man himself, Tyler Hall. Tyler, how are you this afternoon?
Not too bad. How's it going, Matt?
Doing pretty good. You know, it's been some nice weather yesterday, of course. Today, even though it's a smidge cooler than yesterday, it feels so good out there.
Yeah, it was chilly this morning. Needed my new 8 News fleece heading in, but yeah, no, it is definitely nice. It's been nice the last few days.
It is pretty nice. You know, today we've been talking about this past couple of days. I'm going to bring up some graphics here. A little bit of weather history. This is the day 3 of the 1996 blizzard, and we'll talk about that. Many people, of course, commenting, remembering that storm, whether they were working and couldn't get to work for several days or in school. This storm, by the way, Tyler, you might remember because it went all the way up through New England, really hitting areas like New York City, Rhode Island, Boston. So it was not just a Central Virginia storm.
Well, I was only 3 at the time, so probably not. But yeah, no, certainly memorable for sure.
For sure. And then also in the state back in 2017, we had a snowstorm here in Central Virginia, produced about 6 to 12 inches for many areas south of I-64. So it was kind of a memorable storm for areas in Dinwiddie County, Prince George, and then south down to Emporia, Greensville County, and those areas. So you know how it is here, Tyler. I mean, sometimes either 95 is a cutoff or 64 is a cutoff. We have like weird little microclimates here.
Yeah, we do. And just thinking back very recently, those 2 winter storms that we had the first half of December, the second one just kind of, as we all know, kind of gathered kind of steam in the modeling leading up to it. And then it led to quite a bit of snow. In certain areas.
Yeah, right along that 460 corridor from almost Farmville through Dinwiddie County into Prince George, there was kind of a stripe there, Nottoway County included, of about 7 to 9 inches, while everybody else was kind of in that 3 to 5, 3 to 6 inch range. So let's just kind of talk a little bit about that blizzard of 96, not 66. And this, we've shown this a couple of times, you know, that purple area, that's 12 to 16 or 12 to 18 inches of snow, that fuchsia, and then back to the west of that, that kind of deeper green is 18 to 24. So really much of the area just got clobbered with snow.
Yeah, absolutely. This is certainly a memorable storm from basically the entire state. It looks like even out by Hampton Roads, they saw quite a bit of snow for their standards. Yeah,
for sure. I mean, someplace that white or gray area you're talking about there, that's 6 to 12. So, yeah, pretty good for the eastern sections of the northern neck, middle peninsula, even down, as you said, to Hampton Roads. The immediate coastline in that kind of weird mustard color, that's like, 0 to 6. But, I mean, that's really coastal. But, yeah, for sure. It was a memorable storm. So, obviously, no snow, although I know our snow lovers would love snow.
Yeah.
Before we talk about our weather, I want to talk about something that's going on out west and give you the big picture here. You see that system in the central part of the country. This you're going to talk about because we've already had some severe weather this morning. Pretty wild.
Yeah, before coming into work, I was seeing that there were tornado warnings and severe thunderstorm warnings happening in Oklahoma. That system now pushing into Missouri and producing severe weather warnings for them currently as we speak. Yeah,
and so we'll get a little bit on that severe weather in just a second. But before this system moved out into the plain states, it was back into southern sections of Arizona yesterday, last night, and there was a high pressure over northern Nevada, and that created what we call Santa Ana winds. And there are still wind advisories and high wind warnings out for Southern California and the deserts down through Vegas to Lake Havasu City. And if you don't know what a Santa Ana wind is. So there's a mountain range called the Santa Anas in Southern California.
Right.
And the wind comes over that range, and as it goes down the range and passes through the different canyons and valleys, it actually accelerates and it dries out. And this can be a factor in creating wildfires. And about a year ago at this time, Pasadena had some of the worst wildfires in their history.
Right, and I do remember we ran that story last night, actually, in the evening shows about the 1-year anniversary of those awful wildfires that claimed a lot of homes and a lot of infrastructure.
And unfortunately, they're still rebuilding today because it takes a long time to do that. Now, the winds are starting to come down a bit, but you're still seeing some gusts, like in Pasadena, upwards of 40 miles per hour this afternoon, even over toward areas like Lake Arrowhead. And again, these are specific areas in California. But you notice once we get to tonight, those winds will start to die down, so the Santa Anas will be over. And luckily, we have not had any reports of any wildfires. Let's go on to the severe weather threat. We'll go back to that big map for a second, and we'll show you Futurecast. So, Tyler, walk us through this.
Yeah, so this system in the middle of the country is actually what's going to be affecting us come Saturday, and we'll get to that later on. But as it's developing, obviously you have all of the moisture on the leading edge of the cold front coming out of the Gulf, and that is rich, humid air leading to rising motion, which eventually leads to thunderstorms, right? So that's what's ongoing for Arkansas, Missouri, and surrounding states. And then on the north and west side, the colder, drier air kind of wrapping around the system is going to be producing some snow tonight, it looks like, for Iowa and Minnesota.
Yeah, pretty good potent system there. And then this wraps up and goes up into the central Great Lakes. And we'll get to this in a bit, but out ahead of it for us, those winds are going to kick up from the south and really warm us up again come tomorrow. But let's talk about that severe weather threat. You can see the lines of potential severe storms developing overnight tonight for western Kentucky, central sections of Tennessee, even into Mississippi and possibly Alabama. So this is going to be an area that we'll be watching, and you see how that continues to kind of develop there. So let's talk a little bit about that. So this was the area you said this morning, and even now have some severe weather.
So earlier this morning, during the daybreak hours leading into the morning hours, Oklahoma was seeing severe thunderstorm warnings and even a tornado warning I saw, and then those severe weather warnings are continuing into Missouri, Arkansas, and then eventually into, it looks like, Illinois and also Indiana and portions of Kentucky, Tennessee, and Mississippi, potentially.
And the main thing really with these storms is going to be strong straight line winds because of the clash of air mass. But as you did say, there were some tornado warnings. There is some shear with this. So and anytime you have severe thunderstorms, you always got to watch out. But it just begs the point. We always say this. Severe weather can happen any time of year. Here we are, January 8th, and we're talking about tornado weather.
Yeah, and we will get to tomorrow's system because that, I'm familiar with this because my first station I was in Louisiana, and yes, they definitely had severe weather year-round. It didn't matter the month on the calendar, no matter what the setup was, there was that potential. So, yeah, basically the entire area of where I used to work, they're under that potential for strong to severe storms tomorrow. So Friday afternoon, Friday evening, associated with the same system that's heading eastbound through tonight.
And when you say severe weather, Tyler, what are you looking at here? Are you thinking just strong storms? Are you thinking potential for hail, straight line winds, tornadoes, all three? What are you thinking about?
It looks like all three for tomorrow. So isolated tornadoes, damaging winds, small hail, of course, that thunder and lightning threat, and with the Gulf right there, obviously heavy rain potentially leading to flash flooding issues.
And that was something you dealt with quite a bit, right? I mean, like when it poured, it came down like, we always say cats and dogs, but it's incredible how it comes down.
Yeah, no, it definitely came down like gangbusters for sure. Very, very heavy, rich moisture coming at us right off of the Gulf for sure, leading to torrential downpours that eventually led to flooding issues.
Gotcha. And your water table was pretty shallow, so flooding was kind of, unfortunately, happenstance. It happened pretty more than not, right?
Yeah, for sure. A lot of flooding instances throughout my time down there. Yeah. And again, it's all based on location, right? So the proximity to that big body of water definitely will lead to flooding issues.
And I think it's important to note that even as this storm moves to the east, we are not expecting severe weather here in central Virginia. So I think that's probably puts a little rest at people because we're talking about severe weather. Like, is it coming to us, right? That's the obvious next question. So that's good.
Right.
But we will get some warm weather. And again, today, although cooler than yesterday, still in the low 60s this afternoon, a really nice day.
Yeah, and as you see here, we should be in the upper 40s for average afternoon temperatures. Yeah. So this afternoon running about 10 to 15 above average. I know yesterday we got into the upper 60s, so like plus 20. So yeah, Friday and Saturday, same thing. Ahead of that big system that's currently in the middle of the country, leading to that severe weather. And then you notice the difference come Sunday, Matt.
Yeah, that's going to feel like a shock, especially we get the Sunday, Monday. And Sunday behind this system is going to be breezy, the cool air. But even, 53 is still above normal, but it's going to feel chillier. And then, of course, Monday, we're back into the middle 40s, so to speak. So, yeah, something to get back to normal here. Let's talk about what's coming our way. This system continues to show signs of improvement in terms of rainfall coming our way, Tyler.
Yeah, versus 24 hours ago, the potential for rainfall from late Friday through most of Saturday is increasing. And that is good news when it comes to the overall drought, which we'll highlight as well. So every Thursday we get an updated look at the drought, and this is the latest update. So versus last week, I was looking at this earlier, and the moderate or the tan color is expanding eastward. The orange or that severe drought color is expanding to the south and west. So basically areas out by, western counties of the 8 News viewing area and up in Northern Virginia, they really need the rain. So this is going to be beneficial stuff.
And I think this is important because, people think of drought, they always think of summertime, right? Because that's when we have crops in the ground, et cetera, and we're growing, and then, we're worried about our lawns and whatever. But a drought in winter can be equally severe because there's a lot of people, once you get, away from the major cities, you're running on wells. And if the water table is pretty shallow and it starts to dry up, you don't have the water. So that's a big issue. And some of this drought goes back for over a year because there are some places to the west that have a deficit of over a foot to a foot and a half. That's pretty bad stuff.
Yeah, it's been adding up over time. I know I've been talking about this on air for months and months. So, yeah, the rain coming in Friday and Saturday is going to be very, very beneficial to the state.
We keep talking about normals when it comes to temperatures, and obviously, yesterday was way above normal. The normal low for this time of year is 29, and you mentioned you threw on the 8 News fleece-lined pullover because it was chilly this morning. We were flirting with the low 30s and upper 20s in some areas, so we were kind of back to normal today, at least for the lows.
Right, upper 20s, low 30s. I know we had upper 30s going into this morning. So kind of overachieved a little bit, if you will, as far as the temperatures are concerned.
There we go. All right, Tyler, so I'm going to have you break down what we have coming up here for the next 24 to 48 hours. I'll bring this up full so our viewers can see this. So this starts to bring in some showers tomorrow evening after sunset.
Yeah, so based on the latest information, it looks like most of Friday should be dry, so you don't need to grab the rain gear as you head back to work and school Friday morning, which is good news. But if you have Friday evening plans, I would grab the umbrellas just in case you run into these scattered showers. And again, these will continue ahead of this system Friday night into Saturday morning. So basically, a warm front's going to be lifting on through Friday night into Saturday morning. So that will continue with the mild conditions that we have been seeing. So tomorrow night into Saturday morning, very mild. We'll have a lot of moisture in place coming at us from the western Atlantic Ocean ahead of the system. It'll continue on and off rain for Saturday morning and Saturday afternoon. So if you have any plans on Saturday outdoors, well, you'll need the rain gear for sure. And the scattered to at times potentially likely showers will continue through Saturday evening, it looks like, based on the latest information.
And then once that front pulls through, then we're done with the showers.
Right.
Our skies will clear out as we head into the day on Sunday, and that's going to allow for that cooler air to come on in, which you see there, many areas dropping back 50s and 40s. So you know what I like to say, get out there and enjoy what we have now if you can.
Yeah, absolutely. A great afternoon today for any outdoor plans outside of, work and school, obviously. Tomorrow, most of the day, as I said, will be dry, so that's good. But then tomorrow evening, tomorrow night, the rain will be picking up. And again, we really need it, as Matt and I have been talking about with the drought situation, into Saturday.
Yeah, for sure. And one more time, I just wanted to see if you will help us out here. Tell us what you're doing to enjoy this mild weather yesterday, today, even tomorrow. As Tyler said, we're going to have some pretty good-looking weather before the showers come in after sunset tomorrow. So it's more of a dinner or maybe a dinner and a movie type of thing where you'll need the umbrellas. So just drop your comments below. And then, you know what? If you're looking for snow, drop that comment in there as well. We'd love to see who our snow lovers are. Tyler, I'm not a snow lover.
I knew that.
I think you're kind of a snow lover, though. I think you enjoy it still.
Yeah, I enjoy it still, but I don't enjoy the very cold stuff that we had in the beginning of December.
Yeah, for sure.
But no, I'm not seeing any snow anytime soon. I mean, you got to go to the mountains. You got to go into West Virginia, over to those resorts to really enjoy it, you know. But it's just way too unfavorable for that right now.
Yeah, and you did mention that point there. So wintergreen was really good for the past couple of weeks. We had the cold air, kind of slowed down right now. But once we get that chilly air back in, they'll be able to make snow again, and they'll be back firing up on the slopes.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Hey, Tyler, thanks so much. And we all want to thank you for joining us. And we hope you enjoyed this episode of StormTracker8 Beyond the Forecast.